Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Nolan, and thanks for joining us here on the Nashville Weather Channel, or else checking out our weather blog, www.nashvillewx.com, where today's topic is the lack of rainfall so far this April. It's been about 10 to 11 days since we've seen any significant rain here in Middle Tennessee, and we may not see any for a while, so we may go over 2 weeks without any rain. Our hope is we don't go back into a drought-like situation like we had several years ago. Now today we did cool down from the 80s back to 70 for a high. Notice Bowling Green at 67 degrees, same thing for Paducah. And we're going to have continued cool air pushing in overnight tonight. You can see the leading edge of that cooler air dropping southward to the Alabama-Georgia border here during the late afternoon hours. And with clearing skies overnight tonight, we actually have a frost advisory in effect for our northern and eastern counties of Middle Tennessee, where temperatures may be dropping down to mid to upper 30s. Now, we'll call it about 39 to near 40 here in Nashville, but get away from Nashville north and east of town. 37 in Portland, 37 also in Clarksville, and 35 in Paris, maybe down to 37 in McMinnville, and 36 in Cookeville. And as we've explained before, the reason you can get frost on the ground when the temperatures in the mid to upper 30s is the ground is a solid object, radiates its heat out, and hence it can actually get to freezing when the air temperature above the ground is still just a little bit above freezing. Tomorrow's highs in the sunshine, about 67 here in Nashville, some mid 60s just to the east of town in the eastern parts of Middle Tennessee. Predictors showing the cloud cover to the south, dropping on towards the south and out of here, and yielding a clear sky overnight tonight and remaining mostly sunny on our Sunday. So for this evening, if you have some outdoor plans, just grab a jacket or a sweater. As the sun sets, we'll fall through the 60s to about 60 to 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock at 54 degrees. Then tomorrow, plenty of sunshine after an overnight low dropping to the upper 30s with a light northerly breeze and that scattered frost. We'll see a high of around 67 degrees. Lunchtime temperature at about 60 degrees. And if you look at that 7-day on the bottom of the screen, you can see that we don't have any significant rain in the forecast until next weekend, and that's a whole week away. I'm News 2 meteorologist Nolan for the Nashville Weather Channel.
Now, your News 2 Storm Tracker forecast.
We continue to have a very serious situation in the extreme northeastern part of Middle Tennessee. Places like northeastern Overton County, Fentress and Pickett counties getting some of the worst weather now. Nashville right now is nice and quiet. Things are all east of Nashville. Later on tonight after midnight, we could get another round here in Nashville. Earlier than that, to the west of the Tennessee River. First of all, let's start with the tornado warnings that are in effect right now for our neighbors in the northeastern part of Middle Tennessee. Pickett County, Fentress County, northeastern Overton County. Very strong storms here around the Jamestown area and over near Byrdstown, as you can see. We're looking right up and down highway, I believe it's 111 here, or 127, excuse me, that runs up and down from Wilder, Grimsley, all the way through the Jamestown area and eventually tries to go north of Jamestown. And you can see the leading edge of those storms. Very, very strong storms. Looking at some of the velocity modes that are coming in with these storms, up to 74 mile per hour winds with these storms. Now,
from vehicles. News 2's Nolan tells us just how easily a wildfire can begin.
with as dry as it's been, even if we get some rain, we could have fire problems here in Middle Tennessee. We've already had numerous brush fires due to the dry ground and all these leaves that have fallen off the trees just add more ground fuel. But this year we could actually have something different. With the dry leaves in the trees, if we get a windy day, we could actually have a forest fire, something we don't see very often here in Middle Tennessee.
This year we have a situation where the leaves in the trees, even though they're green, and of course many of them are turning brown now because of the trees going dormant, they are volatile and flammable. And we can have what's called crown fires in hardwood trees where the tree crowns catch on fire and move actually independent of a fire on the ground.
News 2's Davis Nolan is out in the elements. The flakes are getting bigger and bigger, Davis.
You got that right, Lisa. I think you can plainly see the snow is really coming down here in Nashville. We're at Nolansville Road and I-440. I want you to take a look at the overpass over 440 on Nolansville Road. And yes, the cars are still just going across a wet overpass, and that's good news. But I tell you what, I think we're just barely squeezing this rush hour commute in. I think in the next several hours, these roads are going to get quite slick. We'll take a look at I-440 coming in from the west and heading towards the east. You can see the traffic's moving along fine, though they have their usual traffic problems, as you know, this time of the day going eastward on 440. Got our infrared temperature sensor gun now. We're going to show you right now what the temperature of the grass is here. On the grassy surface, already down to 33 degrees. Now, I did step out on that overpass one moment ago, and when I did so, the temperature there was 37 degrees, and that's good news for that overpass for right now. But I bet you within about 3 hours or so, that overpass will be 32 and have slick spots on it, Lisa. Well, it's certainly no secret that over the years, Tennessee has seen its share of tornadoes, and might I add, sometimes in some very highly populated locations. But did you know that in the 10-year period leading up to last season, that our state had the greatest number of fatalities in the nation? That during that decade, we had 110 fatalities. That's 17% of the national total of 631. And of course, the next question is why? Well, here are some interesting statistics from the Storm Prediction Center. 48% were in mobile homes, but that's not totally the answer. Check this out. 46% occurred in permanent structures or homes. So there's another factor at play here, and that's the fact that 75% of our fatalities occurred at night, when not only can you not see a tornado coming, but people may be asleep and not paying attention to TV or radio reports. And indeed, it was a nighttime tornado on Super Tuesday 2008 that roared through Macon, Sumner, and Trousdale counties, where 22 people lost their lives, as well as the tornadoes that same night in West Tennessee in Shelby, Fayette, Haywood, Madison, and Hardin counties, where 9 people died. Now, here are just a few other notable nighttime tornadoes that have taken place in Tennessee recently. The Clarksville tornado of January 22, 1999. The Coffee, Cumberland, and Morgan County tornadoes of November 10, 2002, where 13 people died. The famous Jackson, Tennessee tornado of May 4, 2003, where 11 people lost their lives. And one of the Gibson County tornadoes on April 2, 2006, was also at night, where 3 people died. But there may still be another factor working against us here, and that's population density. Now, out in what is known as Tornado Alley in the Great Plains, one might travel 25 to even 50 miles without ever seeing a farmhouse or a home on the flat and treeless land. It's no wonder that there are fewer fatalities there. But here in Middle Tennessee, it's a whole different story. Now, here's a map of Middle Tennessee and the population in thousands for each county. Now, besides Davidson County and Nashville with its 626,000 people, look at Rutherford County, 249,000 people and growing every day. And it's absolutely amazing that there weren't more people killed in last year's Murfreesboro tornado. But look at some of the other surrounding counties. Places like Murray County with 82,000 people, 110,000 in Wilson County, 155,000 apiece in Sumner as well as Montgomery counties. But even other outlying counties further away from Nashville like Dixon as well as Lawrence and also Bedford, Coffee, and Warren counties have substantial populations. The counties with the fewest people are Pickett as well as Van Buren, and even they have 5,000 people. So it's easy to see that when tornadoes push across Middle Tennessee that people's lives and property will be affected.